Hi there, I'm David Icke, and we are here to talk about fiction writing. Today, I want to tell you an unfortunate truth. The way that your teachers taught you to write in high school, and in college too, it really set you up for failure. The way that they taught you is not going to be very helpful in the real world. Now, I know you probably had an awesome creative writing teacher at some point. I know I did. But hear me out. A teacher is paid to convey knowledge to a student, then to evaluate the student's progress in absorbing and understanding that knowledge. And in school, you were taught to write for easy evaluation of your knowledge and understanding and your skill. This is true whether we're talking about persuasive essays or short stories, where your persuasive essay teacher might have emphasized logos or pathos or structure and things like that. Your creative writing teacher probably emphasized creativity, originality, clever phrasing. Now imagine your creative writing teacher at home, sitting at the kitchen table late at night after the kids are in bed, reading through a pile of stories. He did that because he was paid to do that. And don't you think he wanted to make it a little more pleasant for himself? He'd been doing it for a long time, probably jaded. He had probably seen everything already. So he might have emphasized creativity, originality, clever phrasing, in part because that's what he wanted to read. It made his job a little easier, a little more pleasant. It gave him something to mark with a smiley face, because that's always nice to encourage your students. But here's a question that your teacher probably never taught you to ask. Who is your audience? And nobody really needs to ask that question because the answer is obvious. The teacher is your audience. But when you emerge from school and go out into the real world, when you write, the chances are that you could still be writing for your teacher and writing what they valued. And it's time to stop that habitual reflex. You're no longer writing for your English teacher. Your English teacher is not going to be giving you smiley faces on your report anymore. This is very important to get into your head. Your readers are no longer paid to read what you write. It's just the opposite. Eventually, when you publish, you're going to be asking your readers to pay you. You're going to be competing with a six-pack of beer or a gallon of ice cream. So why would you write as if your 10th grade creative writing teacher is going to grade it? Now, hear me out. I'm not saying that your teachers taught you poorly. Creative writing requires creativity, originality, and sometimes even clever phrasing. And if your teachers taught those things well, then they did you a good service. But it's what they didn't teach you that's going to cause you trouble. Creativity, originality, clever phrasing, pathos, logos, good structure, those are all tools in the writer's toolbox, and it's good to know how to use them well. But like we talked in an earlier video, why are you writing in the first place? Writing is a form of communication. A writer implies a reader. So who is your reader? The writer who writes just to express himself or clarify his own thoughts and feelings, he's writing for himself. And many teachers encourage their students to write in order to express their thoughts and their feelings. And that works out pretty well in the classroom. Expressing thoughts and feelings can be really enjoyable. So it's a useful tool to motivate those stubborn students. And the teacher's paid to evaluate the students' thoughts anyway, so that's helpful as well. But I doubt that your long-term goal is to express yourself alone in an empty room. You're doing this because you want people to read what you write, right? Writing is a form of communication. To know why you're writing, you have to know to whom you are writing. Once you know your reader, the most important question to ask is, why is the reader reading? Why does anyone sit and stare at marks on a piece of paper or squiggles on a screen, sometimes for hours at a time? The reader must be getting something out of that, right? He must be getting some sort of value from that activity. So what does your reader value? Why is he doing it? So readers of stories, we know, they read to be entertained, right? They want to experience the world vicariously through the characters of the story. So what kind of characters do they like to see? What kind of settings do they like to read about? What kind of plots entertain them? These are important questions that you need to find out at your earliest opportunity. Now, when you're first starting out, you don't really have much of an audience, and your mom, dear as she may be, doesn't count unless she already reads in your genre. So, who do you write for? The natural place to start is to write for yourself, but not yourself as a writer. You're not expressing yourself. You want to write for yourself as a reader. So not the story you want to write the story that you want to read. Now, this isn't selfish. It's just the natural first step. And as you gain skill and you start to develop an audience, you're going to get to know them. You're going to find out what they like, what they value. You're going to find out who they are, what kind of plots entertain them, what kind of plots leave them cold, what do they love, what do they hate. You'll find that out, and then you can start writing for them. And probably won't be too far off from where you started because you started with stories that you wanted to read. So that is how you escape from high school English class. Find out who your readers are, find out what they want to read, and then go write that. Now, as you'll hear me say a lot, the best way to master your craft, the craft of writing, is to write every day. And I do have a short email course that will help you develop that daily writing habit. It's linked down in the description. It's called Couch to 50K, and I hope that it's helpful to you. If you found this video helpful, please do hit the thumbs up button down there and hit that subscribe button if this is useful to you. If you found this, if you found value in this video, which I hope you do, please do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know when I release a new video. And then finally, I have a question for you. What are the obstacles that are keeping you from writing? Please let me know down in the comments down there, and I'll look forward to reading them and hopefully making some videos in the future about some of those obstacles. So until next time, keep on writing.